Hello, friends. I hope you're doing well. This week we're going to learn about the letter Q. This is the letter Q, and it makes the sound of qua, qua, as in queen. When we make a sign for the letter Q, we're going to take our hands and put our fingers on top of our thumb like we did for the letter O, but then we're going to bring our hand on top of our head like we're making a crown, as in a queen, and we go qua, qua, queen. Q says qua, qua, queen. Are you ready? Let's put our hands up. A says apple. B says bunny. C says cook. D says doll. E says elephant. F says fish. G says goat. H says hippo. I says inchworm. J says jungle. K says kangaroo. L says lion. M says monkey. N says nurse. O says octopus. P says pig. And Q says queen. Let's move right on to reciting the alphabet. Please say them with me as I point and say them. Get that up there. Are you ready? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Now let's count to 20. And if you'll notice, I made a different set of numbers from 1 to 20. And these numbers do look a little bit different. People do make letters and numbers differently sometimes. And if you look at the ones, instead of just being a straight line like this, the one has a little line on the top slanted down, and it also has a bottom line, and it's still the number 1. And if you look at the number 4, we've been making the 4 that way. But sometimes people make the 4 that way. Almost looks like the letter A that's missing part of its line, but it is still the number 4. All right, so if you see letters and numbers that are made differently, we call those, the fancy word for that is font. They're the same letter, they just look differently. All right, are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I hope that's getting easy for you. Let's go up to the top and look at our shapes. When I point, you try to say them before me. Get this adjusted a little better. Gets tricky up here. Circle, oval, rectangle, square, triangle, heart, diamond or rhombus, star, and hexagon. And let's go ahead and move on to rhyming. I say 2 words. If they rhyme, you give me a thumbs up. If they don't rhyme, thumbs down. And if they don't rhyme, we'll come up with 2 words that do rhyme with those words. Are you ready? Queen, bean. Quit, mitt. Quail, whale. Quiz, test. No. And a quiz and a test are kind of the same thing. They're when someone sees what you know. Like when I bring you up to my desk to see what you know in the classroom, when I ask you colors and shapes and numbers, I'm sort of quizzing you or testing you. Quiz, what word would rhyme with quiz? How about biz? And how about test? What word could rhyme with test? Test, best. That would work. All right, let's do 2 words that begin with the same sound. Are you ready? Quiz, queen, qua. Tiger, team, ta. Pink, purple, pa. Black, blue, blah. All right, now we'll take 2 sounds, put them together to make a word. Qua, een, queen. Ba, all, ball. Ta, op, top. La, ip, lip. All right, now the middle sound of words. Ready? Hands up. Cat, ah. Kit, eh. Cot, ah. Cut, Good job. All right, now let's do the word and then break it down into the sounds. So let's say the word cross. Cra, os, cross. Queen, qua, een, queen. Star, st, r, star. Top, t, op, top. Very nice. All right, this week's poem is Pat a Cake. And I'm going to just read it to you today. When you were a little baby, maybe someone did this poem with you and maybe tickled your belly when they were done. It's also considered a nursery rhyme. Nursery means something that's for the littlest children. And now you're getting to be bigger children, so you're learning to not only listen to them, but you're also learning to remember them and say them yourself. All right, I'm going to read it. You listen. Pat a cake, baker's man. Bake me a cake as fast as you can. Roll it and pat it and mark it with the B and put it in the oven for baby and me. And you might hear that one made differently. The line at the end said just a little bit differently. Maybe it says T for Tommy and me. It's the same poem, but people do different variations. They change it just a little bit to make it more unique or different. All right, this is the letter Q. What letter do you think the letter Q looks like or looks similar to? I think it looks an awful lot like the letter O. Let me show you what I mean. This is the letter O. It's just a circle. And this is the letter Q. It's still a circle, but I put a little line right there. That's the only difference in the way you make them. The circle is the same, but then you put a little line. Have you ever seen a bicycle that has something called a kickstand? It's a thing that you flip down so your bicycle won't fall over. It kind of leans on it. That's what the Q's line looks like to me, like a kickstand. All right, so this is the letter Q, the uppercase Q, and this is the lowercase q. And I made 3 different ones because the Q is a letter we don't really use a lot in our language. We use it once in a while, but you won't see it very often. And the lowercase q can get kind of tricky because people make it different ways. It can be made with like a letter A and then straight down. It can be made around and then flip up like the letter J, only backwards. Or sometimes people make that line straight up. They all mean the same thing. All of those are the lowercase q. The uppercase Q almost always looks just like this. Let's go ahead and practice tracing the letter Q with our finger. So put your finger up in the air. I use my pointer. Start at the dot, go around, down, up. Pick your finger up, slant down. Let's try it again. Around, down, up. Pick your finger up, down. Around, down, up, down. How are you doing? Are you doing pretty good with that one? I think it's pretty easy. That line can get a little bit tricky to make, but for the most part, the Q is very easy if you know how to make the letter O. All right, today we're still working on the number 3, and we're going to also move on just a little bit to the next number. Do you know what the next number would be? 4. So we're going to work on the 3 and the 4. And this is the number 3, and this is the number 4. And remember, I just showed you on our chart today, sometimes people make that 4 that way. It means the same thing. Sometimes you'll even see the 3 made differently. So some people might make the 3 like that. That's something you're going to learn just from being around numbers more often. All right, so I'm going to have you put up 3 fingers. And now let's use 2 hands to make 3. I'm going to put 2 on this hand and 1 on this hand. 3. And then when I put circles on my 10 frame, I'm going to count out 3. I'm going to use the top row, not the bottom row. 1. I think I'll do the red because it shows up better. Would this be a good way to do it? No. It's hard to count them, remember, whenever they're spread out. So we want to put them all in a row when we're doing math. And that would be 3. And how many more would I need for 5? 2 more because there's 2 left. And remember, we already learned that there's 5 squares on the top and 5 squares on the bottom. Now the number 4, let's count this top row right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So first we say 3, and then when we say 1 more, we say 4. 4 comes after 3. They're in a nice long row here. Okay, so I have 3 red circles. How many more red circles would I need to make 4? 1 more. That means that 3 is less than 4 because watch, I only need 3 circles. I need less, and less means not as many. So 3 is not as many as 4. First you were 3 years old, then you were 4 years old, and 4 is more, 1 more than 3. So if I add 1 more red circle, now I have 4. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. That means 3 is less than 4, and 4 is greater or bigger than 3. And greater just means bigger. All right, so today I want you to try to get a book to read. Either read it yourself by looking at the pictures or have an adult read the book with you and practice writing your name and the letter Q and counting to 20. And I will see you next time.